Good morning. My name is Chris Fox, and today we're going to talk about the power of no. This was kind of a difficult video to record in that the circumstances leading up to it required some self-reflection. I've had a really tough year, not tough in a bad way. As you guys know, if you've been following the channel, financially, I'm doing phenomenally well. I'm setting records. My productivity is through the roof. But there is always a cost for that. If I do too much, historically, what happens is I go, and then eventually I crash. And if you follow the channel for a few years, you can see these cycles where, I'll be on top of the world and doing great, and then I'll just crash. And so the goal this year is to prevent that from happening. So how am I going to do that? It's a tough question. If I need to both be productive and get a bunch done, but also not be too productive to the point where I burn myself out, if I've got to draw the line, what is my tool for doing that? And what I've been forced to admit is I need to exercise my ability to say no. When someone asks me to do something, I need to be able to say no, and I need to say it a lot more often. So I've been trying to be better about that. People have been asking for interviews or various favors or things that they need or want me to do, maybe helping with a launch, even for paying clients in some cases. I've had to say no. I've had to say, I can't do that. I'm splitting my focus too much. And it really came to a head when I was kind of pulling my hair out trying to finish Nefarious, which I have to have uploaded by March 24th. For the record, I'm doing the read-through today. That'll be finished today. And then I have 4 days to do a final edit and get it out to beta readers. So I have basically no time to finish this book. And it's been consuming a lot of my time. But the reason why it's not finished and the reason why Nefarious is not where it needs to be is at the same time, I have been building a course called Ads for Authors Who Hate Math. And it's been a lot of fun. Like, I'm really enjoying recording the videos for this and putting together the scripts. And I think the course will have tremendous value to its target audience. But I was realizing I can't do both. I cannot finish the course and be ready for this pre-order without killing myself. I was literally working every single day. I was not taking weekends off. And I was putting in, 12, 14-hour days every day. So Monday and Tuesday of this week, for example, Monday was 9,000 words, which is pretty impressive, even for me. Tuesday, almost 12,000 words. Let me look. I'm going to pull up my word count here. Maybe I'll show this in the second half of the video. So Monday was 9,000 words, and then 12,143 words was Tuesday. And I did that because I absolutely needed to finish the draft. I'm out of time. Even working every single day, every day is accounted for. My beta readers are only going to have a week to look at this book. I've run out of time. And so I was in such a crisis mode on Tuesday that I wrote 12,000 words and finished the book. And on one, hand, you can look at that and say, wow, that is super impressive, Chris. You did a whole bunch of words. Well, yeah, but you shouldn't be writing those kinds of words out of fear. This is not a good way to live. And I've done this in the past where I'm always chasing pre-order deadlines. And accountability is great, but you've got to also know your limitations. So what I did, I was in the middle of a mastermind meeting and sort of explaining all of these problems. And somebody said, well, why don't you just, not do the course? And I stopped and I thought about it. And I'm like, that is a really good idea. I had a webinar set up with Brian Cohen. We were supposed to do that on or about March 15th. We were still in the planning stages, but we were putting together the final details. And I explained the situation to Brian and I said, hey, here's where I'm at. I could really use 4 more weeks to work on this course because then it'll be exactly what I want it to be. And Brian's like, you know what? That's great. Take the extra time, get it where you needed to get it. He was super understanding. I used the power of no. I said, you know what? I can't do this. And I think that as an author or as anybody in every walk of life, the ability for you to be honest and say, listen, I only have so much bandwidth. I can't do everything. It's vital. It is vital to your long-term success. And the person you most need to tell no to is not your boss. It is not your coworker or a family member. It's you. It's you. We need to tell ourselves no. No. Stop saying yes so often. Stop telling people we can do stuff and then filling our plates up and trying to do everything at once. We can't solve everything at once. And if we try to do so, that's where burnout comes from. So this is a lesson for me, definitely. I tried to bite off more than I could chew. I'm getting the book done. It will be finished in time, but this way I can really put the proper development into the course while not working on the book. So I'm really excited about that. So anybody who was interested in the course, by the way, and I do have a video going live next week that goes over what exactly the course is teaching. The short version is I'm going over every major platform that is Amazon, Facebook, Reddit, and BookBub, and I'm explaining to you how to make profitable ads. Not how to just make ads, but how to make profitable ads and why they're profitable and how to run various types of testing in your ads without needing to understand a whole bunch of math. Because that's such a huge hurdle, I think, for a lot of authors. It is really, really difficult for us to get this stuff done and to calculate read-through percentages, for everything constantly, especially if you've got a big backlist, if you're working with 30 or 40 books. So I have an easier way of doing it, and hopefully that course will be useful. But I'll have more details on that next week. This video really is not supposed to be about that. It is supposed to be about saying no. And I am so happy and I am so much more energized because I'm not working on both the course and the novel. Now I'm just doing Nefarious. I finished, the book. I put in those massive, 9 and then 12,000 word days, 21,000 words in 2 days. Because I was no longer working on the course and I was no longer splitting my focus, I was now back to an acceptable level of work. And it's a lot of work. But I am focusing in one direction and I know what I'm capable of, and I'm not straying beyond that anymore. So for the rest of the year, that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try to intelligently say no when I don't have enough bandwidth to do something. And I'm trying to structure my year so that I'm not working too hard and working myself into a point where, I turn off the internet for 3 months and don't talk to anybody. I'd like this to be a more consistent year. Financially, it absolutely has been. March is doing just as well as February did, which was even better than January. So things are going well. Little Bert's humming right along and selling quite a few copies and getting some pretty decent page reads. And the rest of my books are doing well too. So I don't think that not doing the course in March is going to impact me in that big of a way. Like, I think I'll still be able to peddle that when it's ready in April, and hopefully people will still be interested in it. And I know there's a lot of courses out there and it's not going to be useful for everybody, but I believe in the work that I'm creating. And I think that that's what's going to make this work. And I'm also doing something a little bit differently with this course. I can't not be involved with students. And so with this course, what I've done is put together a session schedule so that there's going to be at least 2 phone calls that everybody who purchases the course can be involved in, because I don't want to give you homework, which is what the course does. It gives you a bunch of homework and say, okay, go out and do all these things, and then not have you able to get feedback on how you've done at those things. So the goal is for me to be able to have office hours and to work with you a little bit on the ads that you're working on. But there we go again. I'm talking about the course. We'll do that in the next video. I'll have all the details about exactly what it's going to teach, and there'll be some actionable stuff in the beginning. So hopefully you'll learn a little bit more about ads, even if you're not interested in buying the course. I do need to get back to the writing. I am in the fun stage. The read-through is just me sitting down and reading the book and making some basic notes. So today will be a really easy day. But the next 4 days, that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, are going to be just intense because I have to edit a 100,000 word book in that time period, and I have to do it well. So yeah, I've got my work cut out for me, but at least today won't be so bad. Anyway, guys, I am going to get back to the writing. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and I will see you next week.